Hello. I would have done this live, but just got a few things on my mind. I want to talk to y'all about vaccines and what is my fear that is coming. And you can judge me. I know many of you will, and that's okay. I'm expecting that. But I'm going to share some facts with you and just something about my own personal experience. I'm going to share some information at the end of the video that I think you will want to go and research yourself, because I think we're all heading towards a major decision in our excuse me, in our lives and in the lives of our children and our grandchildren and those children yet to come. Who am I? I am an avid researcher. I've done that by, I think, temperament, because I think as a child I probably drove my parents and teachers crazy because I was always asking why. I never outgrew that phase of why. I find out what things are, and then I want to know why. I want to know how A got to B got to C. And so I've always been that way. And right or wrong, it's led me down some very interesting paths. The other part of that piece is that we have a child with severe birth defects, and those things are crazy and numerous. And because of that, I've had to do a lot of research. Matthew was born with a defective chromosome. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about what are we doing to our bodies and to our futures, and how those things are being changed or modified, either, right or wrong. And certainly there's a portion of evolution that our bodies are designed to adapt to and to conquer. But then there's some things that are man-made that have been forced upon us or placed into our lives unknowingly, that, and I'm not saying the people who did that knew what the outcomes would be, because I don't think they did. Most of them didn't. Probably 99% of them didn't. But there were some unforeseen outcomes, I think, from things that we all did willingly and thinking that it was really good. One thing that comes to my mind, well, let me just back up a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit about Matthew. Matthew was born with his heart backwards. Somewhere along his life, his lung collapsed. It calcified and did not ever reinflate. And so then his heart shifted over to where that lung used to be. So he's got a heart that kind of floats around inside his body. He has, again, this mutation on his chromosome that has caused him to have autism, seizure disorder. He has some trouble walking independently. He is incontinent. He is nonverbal. Those are just some of the things that come to mind immediately. As a very compromised immune system. And it's been quite a journey. We've been in and out of a lot of hospitals, and I've asked a lot of those why questions to people. When Matthew was diagnosed with autism, and if you don't get anything else from this video, I want you to pay attention to this. When he was diagnosed in probably early 90s, let's say, the autism rate at that time was 1 in 2,600 children. Now, currently, it's 1 in 38. Why? What the hell is going on? Do y'all wonder that? Do you have any inclination to ask why and to delve into that and try and figure out what the heck is going on? Well, if you have someone with that condition in your family, you probably have done that. If you haven't been touched by that yet, you will. There's going to be a time when you are going to want some answers to that very difficult question. I'm not sure you'll ever find them, but I think you'll begin to find pieces. And I want to say today, I found something that really brought in a peace for me of my missing puzzle to Matthew's missing puzzle. And I'm gonna post that later in the comments of this, but it wasn't anything new for me, but the way this woman presents the information methodically, scientifically, coming from a scientist standpoint, it was very aha for me. And I did learn some new things in it, which I have yet to research, but I will after I do this and I get some time. But anyway, we've got all those things going on with Matthew, and I kept saying, why? You know, what happened? I was really careful when I was pregnant. I did pretty much all the right things once I knew that I was pregnant anyway. And so I think, you know, we all as parents, we go, what happened? You know, was it something that I did as a teenager? Was it something that happened to me as I grew up? So I started thinking about that, and I thought, what did my life look like growing up? What did I do that was not natural to human bodies? So one thing that came to mind, I don't know if you guys did this, but I grew up in a little tiny town in Missouri, probably, I don't know at the time, probably 1,000 people. And this X-ray mobile, like a bookmobile, came to town every year. Every year. I remember we would all line up like we were going to get food or something. And we'd stand outside of this X-ray mobile, and we'd get inside, and it's like a big motorhome, and we'd get inside and they would X-ray us to find out if we had tuberculosis. So I guess that's why they did that. So I thought about that. And then as I did research for Matthew, I started thinking about all of the X-rays I've had in my life, whether it's, and I'm not saying X-rays are causing this, y'all. I'm just saying, what are the things that we are willingly, without question, exposing our bodies and our children's bodies to every single time there's a crisis, or every single time we do anything that's proactive. We go to the dentist. No offense against dentists. God bless them. But X-ray after X-ray after X-ray. So I quit doing that. You know, I just thought, you know, if I get a problem, then let's X-ray. But we don't need to do, and you guys are going to be really mad at me, especially dentists. But I just didn't, for me personally, I just didn't feel like that was the right thing that I wanted to do to my body. You all do what you want, and don't think that I'm trying to impose my beliefs on you, because I'm not. I am just trying to open you to ask your mind, to ask more questions, because we're coming down the pike here, guys, to something that we're going to have to make a very serious decision on. And I want you to be informed when you're faced with that decision. So what have I done? I've researched and researched and researched. I've researched vaccinations to the nth degree, and I have a very strong opinion on vaccines, of which most of you would not agree with me. But I have research that backs my decision. So if you've read a few headlines or if you've had some passive conversations on Facebook with people about the pros and cons of that, I recommend that you really delve in and get outside of the mainstream of articles. You know, get out of USA Today, get out of Yahoo, get out of now I personally, just me, I don't trust the FDA. I don't trust anything that has 3 letters in it that comes from the government. I just don't trust it. I never have, and I'm not going to start now at 66 years old. So, do I think they deliver some good things to us? Yes, I do. But I'm still not going to be that person that blindly walks up and gets in line and volunteers my body, my future to them. I'm just not going to do it. Come and get me now if you want, because I'm not going to do it. Just not. Anyway, moving on. So ask the why questions when you watch this video that I'm gonna share with you later. Not this one that I'm doing, but the one that I'm gonna put in the comments. Think about this. You know, we're all very cognizant of GMOs, and some of us spend a lot of money trying to avoid those. We want that good nutrition, that God-given nutrition that has not been altered by human beings because they suddenly think they're smarter than God. But also, in their defense, we have to feed billions of people in the world, so sometimes maybe that's been necessary. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I question it. It's a why for me. So GMO foods, yeah, we don't like that. We don't like the GMO seeds. Those of us who want to plant gardens, which I haven't been very good at doing, but if I were to plant a garden, I would not plant seeds that were GMO. I would get natural heritage type seeds and put them in the beginnings of my plants that I'm going to be consuming. So my question then is, for those of you who believe the way I do about GMO foods, think about what GMOs would be doing to the human body. GMOs that are put into our bodies through pharmaceuticals. Just think about that for a minute. And after you watch this video, I hope you'll question it. I hope you'll think about it. You know, why do we have so many children with ADD and ADHD? And why do we have so many kids with RA and juvenile diabetes and all of these things that their bodies were naturally manufactured by God? That's how I believe. I don't care how you believe. You believe the way you want to believe, and try and transpose that into your higher power, or whatever it is that you call that. But what is that? You know, what was that designed to do? Well, it was designed to fight disease and pollutants and things that our bodies identify as toxic. But then we put something that's GMO in it, and it can't identify it, it can't absorb it, it can't assimilate it into our bodies for us to be able to use it the way the body's intended to use it. So if we don't want GMOs in our food supply, why do we allow GMOs to be shot into our bodies to help prevent something that we don't even know if it's going to happen? I don't know about you, but I can't do that. And I don't know what's going to happen when the government or an agency with 3 letters behind it is going to try and force us to do it. But I do know that I'm afraid of that. I haven't been afraid of COVID. I haven't been afraid of anything else, but I am definitely terrified of that thought. So, again, give me some grace, guys, because I've researched the research of the research, and this is the way I feel. And I've talked to lots of scientists. I've talked to lots of medical people in the medical field that have been on the front lines of this ordeal, and I've come to my conclusions just like you've come to yours. And I'm showing you grace, so please give me some in the comments. You know, one thing I've noticed, and I noticed this with Matthew, but I didn't know what to call it. And I've talked to lots of parents who have experienced that encephalic cry that their children have. And, you know, a lot of times it's called colic, or a lot of times, you know, they're just like, oh, well, it's just a virus, or it's just this, or it's just that. And, you know, when you begin to study that and what the brain is doing, what the gut is doing, which is what we call in my world, the second brain. You know, what the gut and the brain are trying to do is they're trying to get rid of things in our bodies that aren't natural, aren't supposed to be there. And they're interrupting the natural process of what would be happening naturally to get rid of things that our bodies aren't supposed to have in them. So the gut is the second brain. So take care of it. Take care of your brain. You know, so I'm going to close, guys, but I want to say this. Don't stop yet, because I think this is important thought. Are we the canaries in the coal mine here? What are we walking into blindly or willingly or fearfully? What are we walking into so we won't feel guilt because of our fellow humanity? You know, what are we basing those decisions on? And are we the canaries in the coal mine? I say yes. Matthew is. Landon is. I can name dozens and dozens of children that I know that have been harmed by something toxic in their lives or in the lives of the people who birthed them. So, not to lay any guilt on any of you parents, because again, we've all done that. We've done it unwillingly. We didn't know what we didn't know. So just all I'm saying, guys, is please, please, please do your homework and don't accept what the government tells you you have to do. You don't have to. It is your body. How long have we heard that? It's my body. I can do what I want to with it. We have laws that have supported that, gone all the way to the Supreme Court. It's my body. Now, do we believe that or don't we? So when I get forced to get a vaccine and you guys have to come visit me in prison, don't say that I didn't say that I wasn't going to do it, because I'm not. There's going to be a lot of proof. Here's last thing, just thought of this. One of the major vaccine companies, Moderna or however you say that, has decided not to go into the third phase of their vaccine trial. Why did they do that? What happened to the people that were in the second phase of their trial? Are they dead? Are they paralyzed? Do they have some sort of weird respiratory thing that they'll never recover from? I don't know. We're not going to know. They're not going to tell us. But they stopped the trials for a reason. They spent a lot of money to get to that point, and now they're not going to do it. So guys, these things are serious. These things cost lives on their way to us walking into CVS or Walmart and getting shot up in the arm. These things cost lives. They paralyze people. So do your research, find out if that's what you want to do, and that's fine with me if you do. But don't judge me for making a different decision. So that's it. I love all of you with my heart, with my soul. I care about you, and I hope you make the best decision for you and for your families in the future. But don't shut yourself off to things that you don't want to know. Don't do that. Ignorance is not bliss when it comes to your health and the well-being of your children and grandchildren. Thank you. Bye-bye.